Hello YouTube, it's MK here, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new hero Aranea. As you can see, she's an Abyss hero that's been added to the game, and she is a priest. A lot of buzz is rocking around her, some people saying she's good, some people saying she's bad, and I'm going to give you my hot take from a first reaction to her skills. I've gotten pretty good these days at breaking down heroes just based on what they offer, and I'll do no different with this hero and hopefully cue you in on a few things we like to think about when we assess whether a hero is good or not. It should also hopefully help you as you comprehend the quagmire of words that is DHGames' attempt of describing what a hero can do. Either way, let's start off with her HP and her attack. So you should notice that her attack stat is higher than Flora's. Now, some of you may go, ooh, does that mean she's a better tenant than Flora? Because if you haven't seen, one key thing about Aranea, which is probably one of the more important things about Aranea, is that she is now finally taking up slot 3 as a tenant for Fairy Queen Vesa, alongside Flora. But unfortunately, because she's a priest, she doesn't get as good scaling as Flora does, who is a ranger. And then if you go ahead and look at their actual skills, you'll notice there's a huge difference between Flora and Aranea. Looking at this third passive, you'll see Aranea has 15% attack, which when she becomes imprinted scales up to 20%, so that's a gain of 5%. Whereas Flora, on the other hand, is rocking a whopping 25% attack, which then scales up to 35%. So even just on that alone, you can tell Flora is going to be a better tenant because the scaling is just much more potent, and given the class difference, Ranger typically do give better stats because there is a specific base stat associated with the class a hero has, regardless of their other things, and Rangers are better than priests. So Aranea, unfortunately, does not get a tick for us guys when it comes to being a tenant. I would still go with a Flora. So with all that said, let's look at her actual skills. So we've already looked, we get attack, we get HP, we get control immunity, speed, and damage reduction. Now I'm noticing these are a lot lower than we've seen from heroes in the past, which is rather annoying. It seems DHGames are trying to backweight hero abilities into their imprint trees. So we will start by looking at this. So it's 20% attack, 30% HP, 20% control immunity. A little disappointing. We've seen heroes with 30% and damage reduction 30%. Okay. That's pretty typical, so she's got some good form of tankiness. She does get a speed buff, but her speed is naturally terrifyingly slow. 1173 is not outspeeding anything, and that's actually really important when we take a look at a few of her later skills. The next skill we can look at is Bursting Fire. This will make her basic attack deal 300% of attack damage to one random enemy. Immediately, that's not very good. One random enemy is, first of all, inconsistent because it's random, and it only being one opponent means it's definitely not here for damage, so let's hope it does something good. It increases the all damage received by 10% for 2 rounds to that one enemy, and restores health to 2 random allies. Random healing, a single target debuff to their damage received, and it's only 10%. That is not very good. When I think about single target debuffs, I want something huge that's going to profit me hard, and the hero that comes to mind with that is Olivia. And one big thing about Olivia is Olivia's shrink ability is a skill effect, and that's giving you 30% damage bonuses, and when you imprint her, that goes up to 40% as the damage bonus. So shrink, I'm sorry, is just a much better ability. It also reduces the damage the opponent does. So Olivia gets the win here when it comes to priests with single target debuffs. So again, Aranea is being eclipsed by another hero that already exists. So let's go see if she can make up for herself in other ways. This healing, it's measly, it's random, it's 2 allies, it's not enough. So let's move ahead. We have Deep Control. Whenever a hero is burned, she will give herself a layer of Abyss Blessing. Now, one quick spoiler about Abyss Blessing, if you have 5 layers, it will improve her active skill. Now that worried me at first because Natasha is a hero that we've had before that requires multiple layers, and she didn't do anything. However, given that it's when a hero is burned, this could be quite consistent. If you have a hero like Eos, or Flame Shrike, if you really want to, she burns everybody, Cthulhu, anyone that's got a good consistent burn that they can dish out, that's going to allow Aranea to perform quite nicely. So that's going to give her these Abyss Blessings. She'll also gain 20 energy. Now that's really important. The fact that she's energy feeding herself when an opponent is burned means that, you know, that little basic attack we were on about? That's probably never going to happen. That's probably a good thing, because with all that burn, she's given herself more energy, which means she's going to get more consistent active skills, and then that's going to trigger the Abyss Blessing. So that actually feels pretty good. Let's bear that in mind when we look at the active skill. Carrying on, you'll also see that when this happens, she'll restore 2 allies with the lowest HP, a little bit of health scaling with her attack for 2 rounds. So that's a heal over time. That's quite nice. Now, when she gets hit by an active skill or basic attack by a burned enemy, she will burn them in return, dealing 200% of attack damage for 2 rounds. Meanwhile, she will reduce their energy by 30 and their armor by 50. Now, this is really important because a lot of people are thinking, wow, energy steal on a hero that isn't dark, this is going to be broken. But let me tell you folks, it really isn't. Now, before I go ahead and tell you why I don't like Aranea's energy steal ability, let me tell you quickly about today's sponsor. Angel Legion, a game that has supported this channel for quite some time now, are sponsoring today's video, and it's because they've just added a brand new hero to the game. So if you're an existing player or have an account that you thought about leaving behind, this week's event is giving you a chance to get the brand new hero that is going to really hopefully shake things up for the game's meta. Also, they've just opened a brand new server, server 47. If you want to go ahead and check that out, you can. It's on Android. And for those that decide to start on server 47, you can get yourself some pretty nice exclusive rewards only for people that start on that new server by doing the exclusive event this week. So go ahead, give it a try. It's a fantastic idle RPG similar to Idle Heroes, but this is set in space and puts together a really awesome team of individual heroes, which doesn't have all the problems like bag space. And one thing the devs really pride themselves on is the fact that you can enjoy this game free to play without having to spend any money at all. The only people that are going to race ahead of you are of course those whales that want to compete with each other in PvP, but if you forget about that, you can enjoy a fantastic story mode and go ahead and just enjoy the game, exploring space and defeating a ton of enemies. So why not try it out? It's totally free to download on the Google Play Store, on Steam, and on the App Store for iOS. So go ahead, give it a download. It's Angel Legion and it's completely free. Also, by downloading it, you help out the channel. Folks, thanks. You can find a link down below. So, back to the video. Let's talk a little bit about this energy steal ability. On face value, you'd think it's quite good. When she gets hit, she's going to steal some energy. That seems pretty nice. However, what's going to hit her? Well, 2 kinds of attacks, either active skills or basic attacks. Let's talk about basic attacks first. That's going to give the hero that hits you 50 energy. You then steal 30 energy, so that puts them down to only 20 energy. But when you also attack heroes, they gain 10 energy from a normal attack, 20 energy from a crit, so ultimately I don't think this energy steal is going to be instrumental. As well, it relies on the opponent to act, which is really irritating, because one thing that's annoying is when enemies already have enough energy, which moves me on to the next thing, and the more common attack that's going to hit Aranea, and that's active skills. When a hero releases an active skill, it hits a lot of opponents, which means it's likely to hit Aranea. But the problem she has is that once a hero does an active skill, they spend all of their energy to do that. So the fact that she steals energy is completely useless. Yes, she debuffs their armor by 50%, but I don't think that's good enough because the energy steal is what is jumping out to people here as the powerful ability. But considering active skills consume all your energy and there's nothing left to steal, the ability is going to go absolutely wasted. So it's a real shame that it's not going to be as good as people think. Reactive abilities need to do something like deal damage or immobilize the opponent. But stealing a little bit of energy off a hero who just used all of theirs, meaning you steal nothing, is not proactive at all. You're not stopping the problem. You're waiting for the problem to come and then reacting to it. So I really don't like this. I'd rather proactive energy steal where we can get it out there quick before the opponent has a chance to act. Most active skills and abilities like that that are terrifying happen in round 1 when there's energy artifacts. Or it's problem heroes like Garuda who are just going to survive through that anyway, and it's unlikely that a Garuda is going to be stopped by an Aranea constantly stealing their energy because you're going to hit the Garuda anyway with your team and bump her energy up enough that she will still eventually get an active skill. There is a chance you buy yourself a single round, but we all know we would rather just use a carry to fully steal their energy, or just CC the hero and lock them down before they even get a chance to attack Aranea. So I really don't like this energy steal ability. I think it's overhyped. I think it's really poorly designed, and the fact that active skills consume all energy just makes it way worse than it could be because you can't steal energy from someone who doesn't have any. And let's move on to the active skill for Aranea and see if this is actually any good. So Aranea's active skill deals damage to 1 random enemy and burns them. Again, that disappointing 1 single target, not very good. And then there's a 100% chance to remove an attribute buff from them. Maybe that's going to be good at sniping heroes, but the problem is it's random, so you don't know who that hero is going to be, and one attribute buff in today's day and age isn't very much at all. We have so many buffs going around that one single buff doesn't feel like a lot. In addition, she's going to deal Scorching Curse on them for 4 rounds. Let's hope that's good. So the way this works is when an enemy takes damage whilst inflicted with Scorching Curse, they take an extra 400% of attack damage. That means it's 400% attack of the hero attacking. So if you've got a really souped up Vesa, she could potentially do an extra 400% of attack damage here. Now that could be really good in boss fights in PvE. So that's a potential use here for Aranea. But I've already said she's being eclipsed by heroes like Olivia, so it seems difficult to justify running Aranea as well. Maybe there'll be some Star Expedition lineups where Aranea gets squeezed in as well, but that will remain to be seen. In addition, after she's dished out this Scorching Curse, she will do Healing Blessing. And that's going to restore 2 allies with the lowest HP by 15% of their lost HP, so a nice additional bit of healing there. And she'll also give them extra HP, which will come staggered for 2 rounds. If she happens to have 5 layers of Abyss Blessing, which hopefully she does if you're dishing out all that burn, she will then consume all the layers of Abyss Blessing to change the skill of Healing Blessing, which will instead do 20% of lost HP with an additional bonus to the healing over time, and as well increase their attack by 12% for 2 rounds. Now, I know what you're probably thinking here. Star Expedition could potentially abuse this quite nicely. We've got attack buffs, we've got healing, we've got additional damage coming from Scorching Curse. This all sounds really nice, but one annoying problem with a lot of these buffs is they only last 2 rounds. Attack by 12% for 2 rounds, as well as this damage received, if that ever even happens, because she's feeding herself energy, so it's probably unlikely, but maybe let's just think about it for a sec. She could potentially do that. The issue with 2-round abilities is with a slow hero like Aranea is she unfortunately loses the first round tick at the end of the round. All your good heroes, which are souped up with homeowner bonuses and with Tree of Origin improvements, will outspeed Aranea. And that means that unfortunately they won't benefit in that first round when this attack boost comes out, which means it only lasts for the second round, which means even though it can stack on top of itself, it will miss timing too, because the first round will be gone, then you'll get 2 stacks on, but then the round ends and that first stack will disappear, so you're always left with only 1 stack on. So it's not 24%, it's not going to double up, it's still just going to be 12% attack and 10% damage received. And I much prefer to use an Olivia here. Olivia still offers healing, she offers protection, Shrink keeps you alive, and it increases damage by 40%, which is huge. So in my mind, I would always rather use an Olivia than Aranea in any of the game modes where Aranea is jumping out to me as a hero to use. So that's why I don't think she's a very good hero at all. I think she's just eclipsed by other heroes that exist in the game, and this energy steal, which is the one thing people were getting hyped about, really is not that good at all, because skills are the main thing that are going to hit her, and when active skills happen, you've got no energy to steal. So unfortunately, she gets a big fat thumbs down from me. She doesn't seem like a good hero that I'd want to be running, and hopefully you guys feel the same. Also, how are you saying her name? Is it Aranea? Is it Aranea? Are you saying Nya, like they do in Spanish for the N? Or is it just Nia? Nya, Aranea? Or are you saying Arani? If you're saying Arani, I'm just going to straight up disagree with you. I think it's an ES sound, right? But maybe you are. Who knows? Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you found this video informative, and hopefully your eyes have been opened a little bit to this hero. And I wouldn't get excited about building her anytime soon, but potentially her Transcendence form could be the hero for you. Let me know if you're hyped for that. I'll see you in the next one, folks. And of course, happy idling.